our first topic, transport in plants and animals. The topic is very broad, so that it's a very broad topic. It tells very many things and it's very suitable. And now I can urge you to watch it till the end, since you're going to benefit it so much. Because it's very broad, I'm going to start with the transport in plants. Transport in plants. I'm going to start by definition of transport. Transport is the movement of substances from one part of a plant to another. Movement of substances from one part of a plant to another. What are these kind of substances we are talking about? We have nutrients. We have oxygen. And then we have through acquiring these, plants acquire nutrients and oxygen, as we start back in Form 1, for some metabolic processes or activities. Metabolic processes or activities. Through these, they acquire nutrients and oxygen, and through metabolic processes, they produce byproducts. Which are these byproducts I'm talking about? The byproducts are, for example, CO2 and nitrogenous wastes. Since they acquire nutrients and oxygen through metabolic processes or activities, some byproducts are formed which are very harmful to the plant cells. They might cause the death of cells. That leads to plant not properly functioning. So immediately the metabolic processes takes place. Then the byproducts are formed. They are advised. It is advisable so that they are released or eliminated. The byproducts, that is CO2 and nitrogen wastes. We have some terms in transport in plants. Number one term, we have what you call diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of particles, either particles or molecules, water molecules, from a highly concentrated region to a lowly concentrated region. Number two, we have osmosis. These are the terms we should know under transport in plants. Osmosis. This is the movement of water molecules from a region of lowly concentrated region to a highly concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. In the most books, here in osmosis, you have something challenges. In osmosis, there are different categories of definitions. Some books say that it's from a highly concentrated region to a lowly concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. So we are going to illustrate, because some books are saying that it's from a lowly concentrated region to a highly concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. Through illustration, we are going to know the truth about osmosis. Number 3, we have active transport. Active transport. This is the transport that occurs from a lowly concentrated region to a highly concentrated region with the use of energy. It occurs in the use of energy. use of energy. Thank you. We are going to be a bit faster and we have, you can be asking an essay question, essay question, 20 marks, that is 20 marks, biology paper 2. You can be asked, it's very suitable question under this topic, say that, describe the absorption, the process of absorption of water. Describe the process of absorption of water from the roots to all parts of the plant. All parts of the plant. This is the same of 20 marks. Describe the process of absorption of water from the roots to all parts of a plant. That is 20 marks. I'm going to take you through it on how you can get the all marks. That is 20 marks. Before we go direct there, I'll explain some things also. Terms in osmosis. We left out some terms. Under osmosis, you have terms. Number 1, we have hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution is a solution whereby there is a highly concentration of water molecules in a solution. Hypotonic solution is a solution whereby the concentration of water molecules is lower as compared to the environment. One is the environment, outside the environment. That is hypo. Then you have isotonic solution. This is whereby the solution is in equal concentration. The inside cell is the solution inside cell sub. That concentration inside cell sub is equal to the concentration outside the cell sub. That is the outside the environment. That is equal. Then hyper inside the cell sub is higher concentrated than outside the cell sub. Then hypo inside the cell sub is lower than the environment. That is lower than the outside the cell sub. So by mastering those things, we are going to flow in it. Illustrating that. We want to do the illustrations showing or illustrating that osmosis is from a lower concentrated region, movement of water molecules from a lower concentrated region to a higher concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane, but not from higher to lower. Let's continue. The illustration number 1. This is a beaker. This is a container containing water. That's the container. We have the cell. Inside the container, we have the cell. That is the cell inside the container. Outside here, we have hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution, we say that hypertonic solution is a solution whereby the water molecules inside the cell is higher than the concentration of water molecules outside the cell. So in this scenario, inside the cell is hypertonic, outside the cell is hypotonic solution. That means outside the cell, the solution here is lowly concentrated as compared to the inner cell solution concentration. That is hypotonic. So through osmosis, water will move from outside the cell, that is water in the beaker or the container, through osmosis from hypo to hyper inside the cell, hence causing the cell to be rigidity of the cell. Rigidity of the cell. That is the first illustration illustrating or proving that osmosis is from a lowly concentrated region to a highly concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. Another illustration, come with me, another illustration. This is a cylinder or a container containing water, of course. The cell is immersed inside the container. This is the cell. And under this scenario, you have water outside. This is the solution. Then inside the cell is also a solution. But here is opposite with this. Now, here inside the cell sap was hyper. Then outside the cell sap was hypo. Here, outside the cell sap is hypertonic solution. Then inside the cell sap in this scenario, get me right, is hypotonic solution. In this scenario, the solution inside the cell is hypo. That means it has the lower concentration as compared to outer solution of the cell. Like outer solution, that solution in the beaker, is hyper. So through osmosis, water will be moving from hypotonic solution to hypertonic solution through osmosis. Since osmosis is the movement of water from a lowly concentrated region to a highly concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. So until this point, we say that it's from low to high with illustration. Through this, it will move from hypo, that is a lowly concentrated region, to a highly concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. With this, the cell will lose water because it will lose water to the beaker solution. The water will flow to the beaker because of from hypo to hyper through osmosis. With this, the cell will now become flaccid because the water will be drawn outside the cell. It will become flaccid. That is flaccidity of the cell through